What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Ratch Report. It is time to talk about the Toronto Raptors because they are being linked to two All-Star players from the Western Conference, as well as we got some potential update about a specific player that the Raptors are very interested in the NBA draft. So we will be breaking all of that down in today's video. So if you are ready to watch, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shout outs on my channel, and the shout out for today's video goes out to Courtney Bailey. Thank you so much for supporting this channel through your likes and comments. Let's talk about the Toronto Raptors now, because it was being reported that the Toronto Raptors are reportedly open to trading RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and Jakob Poeltl, according to Jake L. Fisher. Sources say that the Raptors would be willing to part with either RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley for a significant roster upgrade. Several league figures with knowledge of the Raptors' thinking have likewise asserted that they could show a willingness to move center Jakob Poeltl as well, provided that the trade in question brought back Durant. Now, I quickly do want to touch upon the fact that the Raptors may want to move on from someone like RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley. That really shouldn't come as a surprise. Again, when you construct your roster, you want to ideally have it constructed around two guys or so. Just given where this Toronto Raptors team is currently in terms of salary cap situation, they're about to go in the luxury tax. And we know that is not somewhere a team like the Toronto Raptors should be considering where they are, or at least where they finished last season. Even with improvement, that is normally reserved for teams that are top 5, top 6 in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, that would be the ideal goal for a team like the Toronto Raptors. But why do they also want to do this is for several reasons. Again, RJ Barrett, you will have to extend him in about 2 summers from now. So you ideally want to trade RJ Barrett and try to get an upgrade there. Apparently, they did try to trade him, but the Pelicans said no in the Brandon Ingram trade rumors as well. Now, I do want to touch upon Emmanuel Quickley and Jakob Poeltl as well. There's been a lot of chatter about the Raptors potentially being interested in Kevin Durant. That is where it kind of, I think, these rumors come from, because Emmanuel Quickley, Jakob Poeltl, salary-wise, it works out for Kevin Durant. Obviously, the Toronto Raptors would have to throw in more money, but again, their salary situation gets very complicated because next summer they have to extend Jakob Poeltl, and the following summer is going to be RJ Barrett and Grady Dick as well. There's also some more news out there that apparently the Raptors want to prioritize someone like Grady Dick over RJ Barrett as well. So take that as you will. And of course, they got Ochai Agbaji as well, who's going to definitely get a pay raise next summer as well. So again, it makes sense when we talk about the Raptors trying to upgrade their roster position. And again, just for trying to fill certain positions, right? We like RJ Barrett, we like Emmanuel Quickley, but if they are able to, somehow facilitate those two players and get a much better player, it would absolutely work. I do want to say one thing, however. There's been a source that has told me that the Raptors' interest in Kevin Durant isn't as real as many believe it to be, especially with these rumors coming out about the Raptors potentially trading, someone like Emmanuel and Jakob as well. This is actually used as leverage. Again, I've been told this is being used as leverage for other teams, because it's not a surprise that reports came out today that the Phoenix Suns are not happy with the offers they're getting for Kevin Durant. And of course, soon after, we get reports of this happening as well. So again, take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if the Raptors will actually trade for Kevin Durant, especially, just considering where the Raptors are, right? When you talk about Kevin Durant, trading for Kevin Durant is awesome, but he's got 1 year left. He's also a 37-year-old player. Now, for Kevin Durant, he wants to go to a winning team, not a team that's probably going to be, 7th, 8th, 9th place. And just given their injury issues as well, it just doesn't make sense. This trading for Kevin Durant seems like a move that would be something, a 2019 Raptors team might do before, obviously, they traded for KD. For several years, the Raptors had made the playoffs, and then they really needed that superstar to push them over the hump. In this situation here, this seems like something a bad management would do, where you obviously acquired Brandon Ingram to raise the ceiling a little bit, which is fine because you bought him on the low. But then acquiring Kevin Durant is kind of just, you're not magically going to go from, 11th place or 12th place team, wherever the Raptors finish, to magically being a championship contender next season. I understand the East is wide open, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. But we do have to cover the next rumor as well, because that also is linking the Toronto Raptors to Kevin Durant. And this report was stating, the Raptors are open to using the 9th overall pick in a potential trade for Kevin Durant, according to Brian Windhorst. Now, I do want to say I don't believe this report for one single reason, because the trade offers that the Suns have been getting have not been great. As I mentioned, it is no surprise that teams often use the Toronto Raptors as leverage to raise the price of the players they are trying to trade. We remember, obviously, OKC trying to trade, Paul George to the Clippers, and obviously you hear Raptors rumors. And, obviously with other players as well, not even in basketball, I mean, what did we just see in baseball? Shohei Ohtani, Blue Jays rumors as well. But obviously, we know the Raptors and Toronto, I guess, as a whole is just often used as, a team that could, because the reason I want to explain why a lot of people or a lot of star players get linked to the Toronto Raptors is because they are always one of those teams that could, make one of these types of moves. And Masai Ujiri obviously has stated many times that, anytime you get a chance to trade for a star player, you do it. That's why the Raptors are always used as a team, kind of, rumored out there to be interested. But Masai Ujiri is not giving up the ninth overall pick, folks. And let me tell you why. Other teams aren't even willing to give up a lot for Kevin Durant. What makes you think that Masai Ujiri is going to trade for Kevin Durant, and on top of that, throw in the ninth overall pick? You could throw in next year's first round pick. You can throw in the following year's. There's no way the Raptors are giving up a ninth overall pick. And if they do, I mean, this is just a very silly move for a Toronto Raptors team. Now, is the ninth overall pick ever going to be as good as Kevin Durant? No, but that's not the reason the Raptors shouldn't trade him, because you need depth and you need cheap contracts. Again, the Raptors are going into luxury tax. And if they trade for a big name like Kevin Durant, they certainly are. And it doesn't make sense to trade, young potential contracts like this. And again, there's going to be good players at the ninth position as well. So it truly does not make a lot of sense for the Toronto Raptors. I just think a lot of this is smokescreen for teams like the Houston Rockets, for teams like the San Antonio Spurs, who apparently haven't even discussed Kevin Durant trade with the Suns as well to kind of pay up more. And of course, the Miami Heat as well. All right, guys, let's talk about some draft talk as well, because enough of the KD rumors. Evan Sidri was reporting, come on, Malawach's draft range is viewed as anywhere from 4 to 9. If the Hornets find an attractive trade on Mark Williams, Malawach becomes an enticing fit. I've always felt like the Hornets will be a team, and the Washington Wizards will be a team that could definitely draft someone like Kaman. Meanwhile, the Raptors continue to be buzzed about Malawach's floor at the ninth overall, with teams looking to move ahead of them. Now, it should not really be a surprise with the Toronto Raptors, being linked to someone like Kaman Malawach. I don't think he's going to make it to ninth, if you truly ask me. If they land him, would I be upset? Absolutely not. He's a good center, and he gives you a center for the future, most importantly. I keep saying this time and time again, it's really hard to find good defensive centers in today's NBA, but particularly 7-foot centers as well. So if the Raptors do land Kaman Malawach, that'd be ideal for the Toronto Raptors. Obviously, you have your favorites. I have my favorites as well. But again, we'll save that for another video in terms of draft talk. And our final topic here is the Toronto Raptors being linked to Ja Morant. Yes, you heard this correct. NBA Central was reporting Ja Morant's next team odds. As you see there, the Raptors are at the top, the Kings, the Nets, and the Miami Heat. Now, why are the Raptors being linked to Ja Morant? Quite obvious. I mean, Desmond Bane just got traded for four unprotected firsts and a pick swap as well. So there's a lot of chatter about what the Memphis Grizzlies could do next. Could they look to move off of Ja? This has been kind of one of those things that a lot of people have hinted at could potentially happen in the last offseason, just given the way, his off-court issues has led to, and just his injury issues as well. It just seems like that team kind of has capped off its ceiling, unless they trade for a star player, of course. But again, the Raptors are always in a hunt for star players. And again, just considering the rumors and who they've been linked to in terms of Giannis, Kevin Durant as well, why would they not be linked to Ja, right? So I don't think there's much to this as well. Would Ja be nice on the Raptors? Absolutely. Is he going to come cheap, especially considering what the Grizzlies just got for Desmond Bane? Absolutely not. So again, I just don't think the Raptors should be looking to trade for a star player. I understand why they want to do it, but I just don't think it's the right time. But again, I'm very curious to hear what your thoughts are on all of these rumors. Do you think the Raptors should potentially give up a ninth overall pick for KD? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, I do have a trivia question for you today. And the trivia question for today is, which team was Kevin Durant's favorite growing up? Was it A, the Wizards? Was it B, the Sonics? Was it C, the Lakers? Was it D, the Raptors? Or was it E, the Pistons? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets his shout out in my next video. So that will be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.